You guys are watching behind the scenes. Okay, we're working now. Okay, welcome to my YouTube live podcast of the Woosh Wrangling Woos podcast. I'm currently live on Facebook and YouTube right now. I'm going to tackle the topic that several people have actually asked me about, and that is the mask debate, if you want to call it that. Besides me is my podcaster, assistant, technical support person who happens to be my girlfriend, Catherine. Say hi to the future people who are watching this and people watching right now.
Hi, people.
That's in the background. So one thing I want to start out with is it always gets me how different my voice sounds on the podcast. Honestly over anything. So I kind of feel bad. I always think about that. So, our future kids and everything, they're going to listen back and like, man, that sounds so weird when he was younger. And I'm like, no, that's just, I sounded how I do now. It's the microphones just didn't like my deep voice for some reason. So, for those who have watched past podcasts, you can tell my screen, my background's different for all that. So I'm going to tackle the whole mask debate. So that is something that everybody loves talking about. I think I've made posts about it on Facebook. But I want to do a whole YouTube live because let's face it, this mask debate, this whole mask issue is... Oh, does it sound different on Facebook? On Facebook, I don't think it actually does sound different, I think on Facebook and Instagram, it sounds pretty much the same. But I think it's just YouTube that might do different. Like when I do channel, like GTA videos for PS4. I don't know.
So it's probably your headphones and microphone on there then.
It probably is. I mean, even when I use just my computer mic, it sounded different. So,
but now you got an official one.
I don't know. So, the whole mask issue. Let's face it, this whole mask thing, is gonna stick around forever. That's why when I ordered my Eagles masks, it said it was gonna take like a whole month to come in. I'm like, well, I know the masks aren't gonna be, a thing of the past in a month. So that's when I got those. So the whole mask debate is, in my opinion, a pretty crazy one. I feel like people who you have like anything in life, two huge extremes. You got the people who, would never wear them because, they feel like it infringes their rights. And then you have the far left people who wouldn't even dream about not wearing them, who wear them in a car. Now, there's all those funny memes and like posts of people, laughing at people who wear masks in their cars. But the people who never have to go back to their car to get their mask, people who wear masks in their car, so I'm pretty sure they get a last laugh on everyone, including myself. I mean, I never really laughed at people who wear masks in the car. I never really got it. But after plenty of times of forgetting it in the car and having to go back for it, I'm like, you know what, you guys knew where it was at. I'm gonna admit it. You guys knew what was up and everything. What do you think when people say after the election? What do you think when people say after the election this will all go away? So I saw this funny meme that said, best way to get coronavirus to end is to get Biden in the election. So, in my opinion, this has become a permanent thing. There will always be people out there who believe wearing masks is, required. You know what I mean? So let me put it this way. Do I feel like it'll end after the election? Well, I certainly don't think it's going to end before the election. Yes, that's me being, smart about it and everything. After the election, now, yeah, I get the whole... So there'll be people that say, oh, Trump wins the presidency, it'll still go on for another 4 years until he's gone. Or if Biden wins, it'll automatically end. I feel like either way, there's people who don't want to wear a mask who won't ever wear it. That's what they got the mindset on. There's people... See, that's the thing about those people. Those people, they're not going to ever change their mind. I've seen posts where, Trump's talked about how masks can be a good thing, and I'll still see comments of people saying, oh, no, they're not. They don't do any good, all this and that. And then I'll see people on the left, I shouldn't call them the left, 'cause there's people on all sides who wear masks. I mean, I wear masks, One reason why I love wearing masks so much is because I think they're pretty cool. Like, I get to go to work at Academy with an Eagles mask. I don't get to go to work at Academy with an Eagles hat or an Eagles shirt or an Eagles, shoes. I mean, I guess I technically could. But I feel like masks are a good way, to show your pride of something, You got people who wear the masks, where I like to wear them. I've seen people come in with masks of, all kinds of stuff. I've seen people with Biden masks, Trump masks, sports team masks. So I feel like it's cool. I like masks personally myself. I don't mind wearing them because they're pretty. What?
In a way, it.
Oh, you want to say something?
In a way, it brings another way of, self-expression in places where you can't do that. Like for him, it's at work, or in schools, especially when you gotta be wearing uniforms like I had to. There's so few things you can do that show off who you are, what you're interested in. But masks, it seems like they're, the newest thing that can show off what you like.
The new fashion trend. So, to really answer your question, what do I think about people say in that election? It shows how much we've politicized. Is that the right word? Politicized?
Yes.
Politicized everything. It's pretty sad, honestly, how much we've politicized everything. There's so many things that are only political because we've politicized them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go on all about it. I'll do another video for it about the whole, BLM movement and everything. There's so many things in life that we politicize that, like, it doesn't need to be politicized, people. You know what I mean? There's not everything in this world has to do with politics. In the Bible, it says, that, Jesus said, there's a time for everything. You know what I mean? There's, you don't have to politicize. Politicizing like masks is a new trend. People love to politicize the darnest of things, especially like masks. That's why people are like, if you have someone who's, gonna vote for someone, they're unlikely gonna change their mind because that's how their mindset is. Everyone's stubborn and no one's willing to, talk about things anymore because everything's so political, and we've weaponized everything through politics. You know what I mean? You can't have someone say something like, "Oh, I believe Black lives do matter," without people all of a sudden thinking, "Oh, that must mean you hate cops," and vice versa. You can't have someone say, "I believe cops' lives matter," without people saying, "Oh, so you hate Black people and everything and stuff." Again, not gonna go into all that. That'll be a different video. But the whole mask thing, it's you have people that say, "I think people should wear masks." Then you have people say, "Oh, you're you listen to media, you'll do whatever they say, you'll do this and that and everything." You'll have people who say, "I don't think we should have to wear masks." Then you have people that say, "Oh, you want to cause people to die, you want to end the world and everything," which in my last podcast I talked about how, the world's going to come to an end, and you can't take your rights and freedoms with you to the afterlife. So, they're both they're both secular things. We've become so secular as a race, humankind, that everything has to be political because that's how everyone sees things as, secular. So it's, everything we have to, people these days have to blame something or someone for them to,
Yeah, it's having problems.
that's right, for them to try to
Just keep going, I'll worry about it.
go on about things. Yeah, if you try closing out of it, or try disconnecting the Wi-Fi. Maybe it's the fact we're both using it.
True.
Anyway, so I feel like it's really got to do with people all politicizing everything, and yeah, so it's really about people politicizing things and everything. You know, I went to church this morning, and there was there's reading, and that reading really stuck out to me. I'll pull up real quick.
Yes.
The notes. So when I first heard this reading, it made me think about how things are going on, these days and everything. I'm gonna read it to you guys real quick. I'm gonna be that guy who reads, from, read some scripture to you guys. So it's from Philippians, and it says, "If there is any encouragement in Christ, any solace, solace. If there's any solace in love, any participation in the Spirit, any compassion and mercy, complete my joy by being with the same mind, with the same love, united in heart, thinking one thing." Now, here's the part that really caught my attention and made me think about how people are living today. Here, listen to this part. Listen here. It says, "Do nothing out of selfishness or out of vain glory. Rather, humbly regard others as more important than yourselves, each looking out not for his own interests, but also for those of others. Have in you the same attitude that is also in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God something to be grasped. Rather, he emptied himself, taking the form of a slave, coming in human likeness, and found human in appearance. He humbled himself, became obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Because of this, God greatly exalted him." Now think about it. You guys hear that? See how that stuck out to me so much? It made me think of how things go these days. It said, do not be selfish or vain glory. Think about others. It's how lacking are we of that these days. You have people who say they don't want to wear masks because their rights. Like, I don't want to wear masks because my rights, because my, because that's what I believe in. Now, yes, this is America. Everyone has a right to believe that. You know what I mean? But how often have we put something a secular, God-given, yes, but secular as our rights and freedoms? I was thinking the other day, when you don't know what's in people's hearts, when people wear masks and do not wear masks for all different types of reasons. People love calling people names, if you couldn't tell. If someone wears a mask because they believe it'll help their neighbor, they believe it'll help people, they believe it's what's right. If someone goes, do I wear a mask because I feel like it's gonna save people's lives? Well, I mean, honestly, not really. No, I'm not gonna lie. That's not how I feel. It's not why I wear a mask. I don't feel like I'm wearing a mask. I don't think I personally don't believe it's gonna save people's lives, me wearing a mask. But people who do believe that, people who think, you know what, if I wear this mask, it's gonna help save lives, I'm gonna wear this mask, even though I don't really feel like it. They are doing it out of charity and love for the neighbor. Period. That's why they're doing it. Now, whether it saves lives or not, that's different. But if they firmly believe that, then they are doing it out of love for the neighbor and charity. That's what we need. That's what that reading was about, doing that. Now, if I decided, I'm not going to wear a mask because I have my rights, I don't have to, other people can suck it up. That's like literally the complete opposite of what that reading just said. You know, whereas are you doing it? You know, it's like if you go out and say, you know, I have my rights. I'm not gonna wear a mask. I don't care what they think. You know, I'm gonna go out and just not wear it. You know, tell me where the love is in that, where the charity is. You know, the love is something so many people have just thrown away, forgot about. You know, and if you think about it, that's plainly how it is. People are just putting secular things in front of what's supposed to happen here. People are talking about how, you know, it's a war on rights and freedoms and everything and all that. Now, I'm not going around saying no, you know, I'm not, you know, trash talking people for, you know, exercising their rights and freedoms, but at the same time, I'm also like, yeah, you should fight for your rights, you should fight for your freedoms, but are you going to go to the extent of doing that to where you're no longer loving your neighbor and being charitable? Honestly. Like, that's not the point of our rights and freedoms. You know what I mean? We're supposed to have rights and freedoms so we can love our neighbor, you know, and be charitable. That's why it's one nation under God. So, if you wear a mask because you feel like it's saving lives, and you feel like you're doing good, and you're doing out of love for your neighbor, you know, don't let people, you know, name calling and, you know, calling you sheep. That's another thing that I found very funny, is that people call people who do that sheep. You know what I mean? You know what Jesus refers to us as? If you don't, you should go look it up. It's something like, it starts with an S, ends with a P, you know, has two E's and an H in it too. So, yeah, I always found it funny. People call people, you know, the people who wear masks and all that stuff, you know, sheep and everything. I think sheeple is one. Never really got that, but sheep. Yeah. Sheep. You know. I'm kind of hoping someone will do that one day. You just look at me with a mask and say, oh, you know, you're a sheep or something, you know, something like that. Because I got the perfect response when someone calls me sheep. And this is what I'm going to end my YouTube video with. I'll probably stay on Facebook for a little bit to answer some questions if you guys got any. So here's my, if someone, which, you know, I'll be ready if someone calls me sheep or not, but, you know, I'm going to say right now, am I a sheep? Excuse me. Yes, I am. You know, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you what that means. I am a sheep. And I know who my shepherd is. He calls himself the Good Shepherd. Now, am I a perfect sheep? I am not. I will stray away from the herd pack of sheep. You know, but he always comes out and finds me. So I know who my shepherd is. My question to all of you, whether you are called a sheep or you call people sheep, do you know who yours is? That is my question. That's what I'm going to leave you off with. I'm a sheep. We're all sheep. You just got to figure out who your shepherd is. And that's what I'm going to end with. I'm going to end my YouTube podcast with that. So you guys have a good night, a good day, whatever time it is you guys are watching this. Again, I'll stay on Facebook Live for a little bit, answer some questions if you guys got me. But my YouTube one, I'm going to end. Ask yourselves that. Even if this whole pandemic's over, still stop and look around and say, you know what? Who is my shepherd? I know who my shepherd is. You know, we're all sheep. So if someone calls you a sheep, just say, hey, you know what? You're a sheep too. But who's your shepherd? You know, because I know who mine is. I hope you guys know who yours is. And I hope it's a good shepherd just like me. You guys have a good night.